Welcome, friends. You are listening to the Mind Body Alchemy podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Miramontes. This is where intuition meets education in the realms of fitness, mindset, and more, all to create lasting change.
Welcome back to the podcast, and thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much more than you know, and I hope that today you are going to be able to shake a few things loose when it comes to what you believe about goal setting, and we're going to look at things a little bit differently. Yes, this is another goal setting podcast for the new year, and I know that January is over now, so I'm going to do something that is completely the opposite of what everyone else in the goal setting and self-improvement space is doing. I'm talking about setting your goals in 2024 late. Maybe your goals in every future year a little bit late. And I really like that I'm doing this because of what it represents. One of my favorite things about the new year is New Year energy. We get a reset in our brain, and it makes it easier to have positive and hopeful, maybe even encouraging feelings toward changing something in our lives, where the rest of the year, it seems like it's a little more difficult to just create that energy. The new year gives it to us wrapped up in a gift. However, we are already past the whole ditch your resolutions date, where most people just admit defeat and decide not to keep them up. Many of you have New Year's resolutions to lose weight and are back to the same old. Same habits, same behaviors, same things that have kept you stuck over and over again. And it's not even your fault. Oftentimes the sparkle just wears off and life starts happening. And when we don't have that New Year energy to rely on, we start thinking the same defeated thoughts that we did in the past. But you're different this year, or at least you can be. Because listening to this podcast in February or even June or hell, November 2024, I don't care, is representing to you that you want something different. And it doesn't have to be on January 1st to get it. Now that we have all the unsustainable and desperate but perfect plans out of the way, and we know that the bullshit we came up with on January 1st isn't sustainable, we can get serious about our goals. Every single successful transformation requires one thing: a plan you can stick to. Even if that plan that you made in the past to stop overeating or get fit seemed reasonable at the time, if you reflect on it now, you didn't stick with them. That only means that it wasn't reasonable yet. Sometimes we get so in our head when it comes to this weight loss conversation that it's hard to think about things in a way that's really helpful. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about a different kind of goal that has nothing to do with weight loss at all. In fact, I doubt any of you even have this goal, but you'll see what I mean. Let's say you want to get on top of your roof. It's not an unreasonable goal to actually be on top of your roof for the most part, unless you live on like a high-rise building or something. But to get there, it's pretty unlikely that you're just going to, from the ground, jump up and land on it. And I doubt you can teleport. But if you can, that would be really cool. Definitely send me a video. There are several steps that need to be taken in order for you to get up onto that roof. Now you can jump and jump and jump and never get there. So you quit. Say it's impossible to get on the roof, or you can break it down into smaller steps that help you become someone who is standing on your roof. None of this is novel to goal setting. You have probably heard it all before. Break it down, smaller steps, make it easier, blah, blah, blah. There's a reason that advice is still circulating. It's pretty good, but hang with me. The first thing you're going to need to do is decide why you want to be on the roof in the first place. And then maybe you're going to walk around the property until you find the best place to get up there. Then you're going to need a ladder, or you have to go buy one. And even then, you can't just be on the roof. You have to get the ladder out, secure it, make sure it's safe, and then take one step at a time until you've taken enough steps to get yourself onto the roof. Even this far is not going to guarantee that you're going to be on the roof. You still have to find your footing, get stable, and get comfortable up there. You may even talk yourself out of it and go down a few steps before getting the courage to go up again. Something may get in the way of your plans. Maybe it's raining outside on the day you plan to do it, so you have to be able to pivot, reschedule, continue on your path, even though you have obstacles, and you have to start looking at them maybe in a different way than you had originally decided. Once you've climbed that ladder, stabilize yourself, and stood on the roof enough times, then you believe that you are someone who can be on the roof. Those are all the practical steps, but there are also emotional steps, right? Are you afraid to climb the roof? Are you sure you even have time to climb the roof? Do you have a good reason for going up there? What will you do if you run out of time or you face an obstacle? Then how will you get on the roof? The truth is, you already know exactly what it takes to lose your weight and get fit. You know the steps. You might be lacking a detailed roadmap and some of the nitty-gritty details, but you're not a fool. You've been down this road. It's not about a shortcut. Most people don't ever get to their goal, and if they do, they don't stay there because they spend way too much time wishing that they were already on the roof instead of figuring out how to follow through on the steps that it takes to get there over and over again. You want to be able to climb that ladder with your eyes closed. Not literally. Let's be safe here. But you know what I mean. You don't want to have to go through the emotional fear every single time. You want to become someone who just gets out the ladder, throws it up there, knowing the best spots, knowing when it's going to be stable, climb up, get on that roof, knowing that you're going to be safe, and you have this. No problem. It's something you're used to. It's something you've practiced. It's something you got good at. When you set a goal to change your life for the better, to get healthier and stronger and more fit, it's because something about the way you're currently living doesn't feel right. Something is missing. You know that you could feel better, think better, live better. And that missing piece is what drives you when the new year fills your psyche with motivation, drive, enthusiasm, and an intolerance for the life you're currently living. Now, there may be a time you get so good at getting up on that roof, you may even skip a rung of the ladder, or you might be able to get that ladder up real quick, set it up real fast. But on day one, you really had to think about it every single step of the way, and it wasn't easy or effortless. But each of the steps broken down, one by one, weren't all that difficult either. So the plan you made to reach a goal in 2024 has already failed, but that doesn't mean that your plan sucked, and it doesn't mean that you suck. All it means is there's a missing piece in the process of being someone who achieves it in a way they want to live it. You might be someone right now who thinks they hate vegetables because you were raised on canned peas and soggy broccoli. You haven't tried anything in a different way because your belief system has you thinking the only way to lose weight is to eat vegetables, and the only way to eat vegetables is bullshit broccoli, and you hate them, so you're doomed. Maybe you even think you hate healthy food because all the diets you've ever tried left you feeling restricted and deprived and resentful of every chocolate bar eating person within a 10-foot radius. The thought of working out 4 days a week may seem impossible right now. You're already tired and overwhelmed. How could you possibly fit working out into your schedule too? You worry about what it's going to cost you to take care of yourself. What about your partner, your kids, or your business? Maybe you're responsible for the caretaking of an elderly parent. You probably have a lot on your plate. Even if you don't, emotionally, it can feel like that. You may be asking, won't all these things suffer if you take time for yourself? Is that selfish? Do I suck as a person? Why do I even want this? I'm never going to get it anyway. Right now, you can only imagine that every attempt to change will end in failure and defeat because that's what you're going through. But that will change. It's really fucking hard to imagine being a different person when all you've ever known is the programming, the beliefs, the mental and emotional bullshit that led you to where you are right now. When I was young, I tried a few sports and I wasn't very good. I was slow, chubby, and frankly, I had a pretty low opinion of myself from a very young age. So even trying felt like I was setting myself up for failure. So I decided to fail ahead of time and not put myself through the embarrassment of trying more. God, I hated PE. I certainly didn't want to dress for it. I didn't think I could ever be any kind of athletic, that's for sure. I was teased about my body and my weight, and so I gave up. And if you would have told me that I could have learned to do pull-ups, load a heavy-ass barbell on my back and squat, I would have thought you were nuts. Not me. Clumsy, lazy, uncoordinated, too fat. After about 1 million failed attempts at dieting, I would have never believed you if you told me that I could enjoy a wide variety of foods, never cut out any of my favorites, and still lose my weight forever. But little by little, step by step, I learned, and I became the person that never in 1 million years would have ever been able to believe it was possible. I became a regular exerciser, a weightlifter, a healthy eater. I'm someone who knows how to listen to and respect her body without feeling deprived. You may not be able to see it right now, and that's okay. You don't have to believe in that version of you just yet. The only thing that you need to believe is that it's possible and that you can follow the steps, one step at a time, one change at a time, until you've done these things enough times that not doing them is what really feels impossible. You just have to believe that you can be a little better than you are today, a little more consistent than you are today, that you're willing to put in the effort to figure it out. There's a saying that people greatly underestimate what they can do over a long period of time and overestimate what they can do in a short period of time. It's true. The long game isn't something we just wake up getting. It's a practice, a meditation, a willingness to show up, to half-ass, to fail and keep going. Because little by little by little, you change. Before you know it, you're just different. And you're no longer promising on January 1st to lose weight and start exercising because you're already fit, healthy, stronger than you've ever been. You're already doing all the things that you once believed were hollow promises and false hope that you could never accomplish. Sometimes it's really interesting to look back at Stephanie 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's almost like it's been a brain transplant in a lot of ways. There are things that I definitely still do that I've always done. There are things that I love that I've always loved, things that I hate that I've always hated, but I am also very open to possibility. I'm very open to the idea that something could shift in the future, that I could change my mind, literally and figuratively. I'm willing to be an experimenter in my life because I know how much it has paid off over and over and over again for me, for my clients, and how it can for you. So I want you to be a rebel. And instead of buying into the false belief that you failed or it's too late, keep going. Pivot if you need to. Break your plan down into smaller steps. Understand why you quit in the first place. See if you can plan ahead for an obstacle like that in the future. Try some shit. Ultimately, though, make sure that your plan reflects the way you want to live your life, not just a plan to get you where you want to be, but a plan that lets you stay there. Everyone I've worked with knows that exercise is a good idea and a healthy habit to have. They know that fruits and vegetables are good for you, and most of them even know that getting enough protein is a positive choice. So why struggle? What they struggle with is what we've all struggled with. Putting it all together in a way that's sustainable, doesn't compromise their values, and doesn't burn them out because they're exhausted and deprived. They struggle with not bringing their dieting past their failures into their future. They are living in a past version of themselves that already failed, a belief that they'll never get it. So when push comes to shove, when you hit a road bump, it's only logical that you would throw your hands in the air and quit, right? But everyone who loses their weight, gets fit, who changes their life from one version of them to a completely different version of them, does it for the last time. What if this could be your last time? You probably learned your diet rules the same way I did. All or nothing thinking, giving up all the good stuff, and basically trying to wake up on Monday a different person than you were on Saturday and Sunday or any other magical day of the week, hoping desperately that it'll be the last time this time. But you aren't going to wake up a different person. That rarely happens. You have to have some traumatic ass shit to wake up a totally different person. But you can practice becoming a different person. A little bit more improved than you are right now. Not because you are wrong right now, but because you know that there's something bigger out there for you. You know that you could be taking better care of yourself. You could be having your back in a different way. You know that you're not feeling your best. You're not your most energized. And none of us are all the time. It's unrealistic to think so, but understanding how to recharge, plug yourself back in, and live this way long term is a skill. It takes practice. It doesn't take a fucking diet. It takes practice so that you can build the habits that are sustainable, that fuel you, mind, body, soul, instead of drain you and make you feel like a failure all the time. The world is ready for something different. And I'm going to be talking about that in future episodes. But for now, I just want you to consider that there is a better way. There's a way to reach your goals of getting fitter, stronger, healthier, and leaner without compromising your values and without sacrificing integrity. If you're interested in what that might look like for you, reach out and let's chat. My inbox is always open for you. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button, share it on social media, and tag me, please. I love to come by and say hello. Thank you personally. Leaving a rating and review helped me so much more than you know, and it's what all the cool kids are doing as well. And I just really appreciate you listening. Bye.